Chapter 11 Flux's Reckoning. The sky above Vierne churned with unnatural fury, heavy clouds roiling like a cauldron of boiling shadows. The air was thick and electric, buzzing with a tension that made skin prickle and breath catch. Each inhale carried the acrid tang of burnt ley energy, mixed with the cold bite of ozone. Vierne trembled beneath the celestial alignment's crescendo. The rifts weren't just fractures, they were wounds bleeding into the city's heart, fracturing time itself. Seconds fractured and fractured again, slipping past like shards of broken glass, some moments looping endlessly, others shattering into nothing. Lysara's silhouette was carved sharp against the roiling sky, her dark armor absorbing the dim, flickering light like obsidian forged in storm. The violet ribbons woven through her hair and cloak whipped fiercely in the biting wind, crackling faintly with the residual energy of her whips. Her gaze was razor-focused, eyes scanning the ever-shifting illusions of the warped plaza. Time here did not flow as it should. Leaves hung suspended mid-fall, shadows stretched and recoiled like living things, and distant sounds echoed backward in an eerie rewind. "Stay close." Lysara's voice was calm, but beneath the surface thrummed the fierce command of a seasoned leader. "This place will tear your mind apart if you let it. Trust your instincts. Trust each other." Ziren's fingers curled tight around the Tempest Shard's cool crystal, which flared wildly as if alive, syncing with the chaotic heartbeat of the rifts. The crystal's light cast flickering shadows on his face, revealing the tension lining his jaw and the haunted weariness in his eyes. Silis, standing just behind, moved with precise grace, fingers dancing in sweeping arcs that sent out ripples of harmonic energy. His golden eyes shone bright, but the strain beneath was unmistakable, the effort of holding the battlefield together against the fractured time was a silent war all its own. The warped plaza ahead was a nightmare of looping seconds and fractured moments, where reality bent and broke like cracked glass. The stone beneath their feet rippled, folding and unfolding in impossible folds. At the heart of the distortion stood the Flux leader, a towering specter, wreathed in corrupted light and shadow. Its visage flickered maddeningly, caught between the visage of a noble guardian and something warped and vengeful beyond recognition. Ziren swallowed hard. "Who? What are you?" A voice like shattered glass and distant thunder answered. "I am the shadow of betrayal, the guardian you forgot, twisted by your failure. I am the reckoning that will undo you all." With a roar that seemed to tear at the very fabric of time, the Flux leader unleashed a tempest of corrupted energy. The rifts pulsed violently, and time itself bent and snapped, throwing everything into chaos. Lysara's energy whips cut through the maelstrom, arcs of shimmering violets slicing through rifts and foes alike. Her every move was a fierce blend of grace and lethal precision, weaving a protective web around her allies. Ziren's blade blazed with raw power, each strike carving through the twisting currents of time distortion, sparks erupting as reality warped and healed with every blow. His muscles burned, but his resolve was ironclad. Silis's harmonics soared, each note a lifeline against the collapsing world. Protective barriers shimmered and pulsed, buying precious moments against the onslaught, but sweat glistened on his brow, and his breathing grew ragged. Suddenly, from within the swirling chaos, a dark figure emerged, a member of House Vane, cloaked in familiar robes but with eyes cold and merciless. Lysara's eyes blazed with betrayal and fury as the traitor unleashed a jagged spear of shadow energy toward the group. The spike slammed into the ground, sending shards of dark magic spiraling outward, fracturing the fragile barrier around them. "Fall back," Lysara shouted, lashes of violet energy cracking against the dark spear, searing stone and magic alike. Zirin surged forward, clashing with the traitor in a brutal, desperate fight. Their weapons sparked against one another, the air thick with the tension of broken trust as the world bent around their fury. Despite the pain of betrayal, the trio's bond held fast. Lysara's leadership ignited their will to survive. Silas's melodies fortified their defenses, and Zirin's shard burned brighter than ever, slicing through shadow and time. Step by grueling step, they pushed the Flux leader back, unraveling the corrupted power with the combined force of steel, energy, and sound. But the battle demanded a price. Silas faltered, caught in a temporal snare that began to unravel his very essence, tearing at his soul across fractured timelines. "Go," Silas gasped, voice raw and strained, eyes fierce despite the pain. "Finish this, without me." With a primal cry, Zirin unleashed the full power of the Tempest Shard, channeling it through his blade in a blinding arc of light and force. Lysara's whips cracked in unison, binding the Flux leader in shimmering cords of pure energy. The corrupted entity screamed, a terrible sound of unmade worlds, and shattered into a cascade of blinding shards that dissolved into the repairing shroud. As the rifts sealed and the fractured time began to heal, the battlefield fell silent save for Silas's faint, fading breaths. Lysara knelt, cradling her fallen ally, her voice barely above a whisper. "We will find a way. We will bring you back." Zirin's hand found hers, firm and resolute. Together, the sky remained heavy, a lingering reminder that the battle's end was only a pause in a much longer war. The city of Virn breathed again, but the shadows of sacrifice and betrayal would haunt its streets for a long time to come.